This is why narcissists always fail to keep their cunning minds secret. Ever wondered why a narcissist's perfect image eventually crumbles? Today, we're unpacking why they just can't keep that mask on forever. So, what's this mask we're talking about? It's the false persona the narcissist created to draw you in. From the start, they weren't being genuine. Instead, they carefully crafted an illusion, pretending to share your dreams, interests, and values, all to get close enough to find out what you could do for them. The narcissist wanted to learn what doors you could open, what resources you could provide, and how to keep you stuck in their orbit. Before pulling you in, they launched what's called the love bombing phase. This is where they made you feel like you were the center of their world, their perfect match, the one they'd been searching for. They went all out, calling you their soulmate, aligning your destinies, and making it seem like some cosmic connection brought you together. But in reality, it was all an act as set up to keep you hooked. Stick with me, and we'll dive deep into the real reasons why this illusion can't last, and what eventually causes the narcissist's mask to slip. You don't want to miss this. The narcissist aimed to make you let down your defenses, to trust in their charm, believe in the mask they wore, take their promises to heart, and think their actions would align with their words. Once you were emotionally invested, once you genuinely cared, they knew they had you trapped. This is often a turning point in life, a big decision or commitment. Maybe you married them, told them you loved them, moved across the world to be with them, started a business together, or shared a home. The narcissist thrived in that moment, knowing they had sunk their claws into you, drawing you deeper into their grasp. For them, it's a critical time in your life, a time when you may have been especially open or vulnerable. Perhaps you had recently ended a relationship, and the narcissist swooped in, fully aware of your heartbreak. Maybe you'd experienced a tragic loss, even the death of a loved one, and there they were, providing a comforting presence when you felt weak. Or perhaps it was a friend offering support when you faced tough moments, conveniently around just when you needed a listening ear. But what were they actually doing? They weren't truly supporting you. They were gathering details, observing you closely, and preparing. Their goal was to assess what they could gain from you. The narcissist is at their core a predator disguised as a friend or lover, driven by a desire to disrupt lives, damage relationships, and crush spirits. They aim to manipulate and deceive, to drain people of everything: time, energy, money, relationships, love, peace of mind, well-being, and even a sense of self. The narcissist takes because it gives them a twisted sense of satisfaction. They compete not just with you, but with everyone they encounter. They see people as easy targets, ready to exploit, especially those with empathic hearts. They seek out empaths, individuals who, perhaps, once underestimated their own worth, or thought everyone saw the world through a compassionate lens. If you're a true empath, you understand what this feels like. For much of your life, you might have assumed others saw life as you did, with empathy and understanding. Now you're realizing just how unique you are. Not everyone thinks or feels the way you do. Some people don't even believe empathy is real. I've often pointed out before, and I'll say it again, if narcissism is one end of the spectrum, then empathy stands firmly on the opposite side. Most likely you watching this fall somewhere in between these extremes. But if you're someone with deep empathy, you already understand what I mean. Being an empath means putting others before yourself, often at great personal expense. You gave so much, you may have been a people pleaser, wanting to uplift others, hoping to make their lives better, sometimes at your own cost. Then along came the narcissist, who took full advantage of your openness. They pulled the wool over your eyes, played you, and snared you. They lured you into a foggy state, where you felt disoriented, trapped, and unsure of how you'd even arrived there. Despite everything, you kept pouring your energy into the relationship, clinging to a vision they projected, but didn't truly embody. Imagine this. You marry the narcissist or start a family with them, or make a major life commitment like moving in together. The moment you took that leap, the narcissist knew they'd gained a firm hold over you. You were committed, willing to invest everything. Take having children, for example. You likely intended to raise them with all the love and dedication you could offer. The narcissist was aware of this, but they had no intention of co-parenting. Instead, they aimed to counteract your influence, undermining the connection and rapport you tried to foster with your children. They do whatever they could to create discord and interfere with the bond you were building. This is why, in my one-on-one sessions with people divorcing a narcissist, I frequently see the narcissist seeking not only financial assets like money and the house, but also attempting to disrupt the other parent's relationship with the children. The empathic parent, caring, stable, and nurturing, wants a positive future for their kids, something the narcissist doesn't desire. The narcissist seeks to shape the children into extensions of themselves, turning them into sources of endless attention and service. They're not after true companionship. They need constant distractions and audience. They can't tolerate even a few minutes alone with their own thoughts. That's why they're glued to their phones, always issuing commands, endlessly changing personas, and obsessively chasing the next source of excitement or control, be it a new person, hobby, or situation to latch onto and eventually discard. This is exactly why a narcissist won't ever truly change. The one thing they can shift is the disguise they put on. This allows them to drift from place to place, hunting for unsuspecting people they can exploit. Now let's talk about the new person in their life, what's often called new supply. For anyone unfamiliar with the term, new supply is just the latest individual the narcissist has set their sights on. They've swapped out their mask to trap this new target just like they did with you, and have applied a new, convincing facade to lure them in. The new supply usually falls into one of three categories. 1. They're another toxic individual. 2. They're someone still caught in a trauma bond. Someone who hasn't yet pieced together the harsh reality of narcissism in today's world. 3. They're a blank canvas. Someone entirely unaware of narcissistic behaviors and manipulation tactics. Whichever type they are, none of these people will have a positive or healthy connection with the narcissist, nor will the narcissist with them. The relationship is riddled with toxicity from all directions. That's why cutting ties, completely removing yourself from these people, deleting contacts, blocking them, and distancing yourself from their enablers is essential. If you can't go fully no contact, then at least practice gray rocking. Keep interactions bland and uninteresting. But I wanted to highlight who this new supply is because it helps reveal the narcissist pattern. Once they have someone hooked, they no longer need to maintain the exhausting facade they used to reel them in. They're eager to try on another mask, perhaps a version they've used before with someone else, or maybe a new mix of traits to present to their latest target. Remember, at one time, you were also in the new supply role. Yes, you were. But don't mistake yourself as merely supply. You're a unique, radiant presence with energy that's unmatched, greater than anything they could ever imagine. Your empathy, your capacity to love, and your ability to enhance the world are rare treasures. But the narcissist only saw these qualities as vulnerabilities, traits they sought to drain or destroy because they themselves lacked them. They can't stand for someone else's light to shine so brightly. So they ensnared you, hiding behind their mask just long enough to secure a hold. Once they felt they had you locked in, they gradually pulled away, all the while siphoning everything they could from your kindness, compassion, and energy. Let me remind you, as I often emphasize, that the relationship you experienced was overwhelmingly toxic, likely the hardest one you've ever endured. Whether you chose to end it or were cast aside, breaking free from it was necessary. No matter how you left, my compassion is with you, because separating from that relationship, whether by choice or by being discarded, was the essential step on your journey. You needed to cut off all connections, to block out the narcissist entirely. This is the time to heal, to see that the narcissist was never genuine. They hid behind a false persona, a mask that became too exhausting for them to maintain. Once they drained most of what they wanted from you, they lost interest and were quick to leave you behind, like something disposable. Being in such a relationship strips away your true self, leaving you feeling empty, as if you're just an extension of the narcissist. Every action is controlled by their wants, what, when, where, and how they expect you to behave. If they don't want you to act at all, you're expected to stay silent, obedient, unseen. Any refusal to comply often results in harsh consequences, from endless silent treatments to public humiliation, explosive anger, gaslighting, or even being pitted against others in a cruel game of triangulation. The terms might have been unfamiliar at the time, but you certainly felt the effects. Now, you've begun to link your experiences with the knowledge you've gained about the cycle of narcissistic abuse. This understanding transforms into a powerful wisdom. Having endured and escaped this cycle, you've developed a kind of strength few possess. Many people remain trapped in such abusive dynamics, never finding the clarity or resilience to heal and move on. But you've done it. You've broken free, uncovered the truth, grown stronger, and severed ties completely. You now see the narcissist for what they were, a manipulator who played on your kindness, compassion, loyalty, and love. They exploited everything genuine within you, hoping you'd continue giving without question. But now you're not only free, you're wise, resilient, and empowered. When you're involved with a narcissist, you might often hear phrases like, "You're so different from me," or "I wish I had your kindness." These comments, while manipulative, contain slivers of truth. The narcissist does envy your ability to care, to empathize, to truly feel. You can savor moments in nature, feel joy from laughter, and live fully in the present. But they can't do that. Narcissists are perpetually distracted, chasing after the next thrill without ever being grounded in the present. This is why they drift in and out of relationships with alarming ease. They were never truly committed from the start. The narcissist is nothing more than a peddler of false promises. They talk of dreams and plans, hint at a future filled with love, stability, and shared goals, making you believe that together, you could have everything. But once you're fully invested, once they see that you're emotionally hooked, they lean back satisfied. This is the point when they realize just how tightly they've got you entwined in their web. They may even think to themselves, "This one fell quickly. My skills must be improving." At this stage, they'll keep you hanging on, slowly draining your resources, separating you from loved ones, and watching your well-being deteriorate. They'll sabotage your career, your hobbies, and introduce negative influences to keep you off balance. While you're being slowly worn down, they might already be out looking for their next conquest, whether on social media, a dating site, or even among your friends. Narcissists aim not just to hurt their target, but to destabilize anyone who supports or values them. This includes your family, friends, colleagues, and anyone else connected to you. Narcissists want to tear people down, not build them up. They seek control, not collaboration. They destroy authenticity in others, because it's something they lack themselves. This is why, once you realize the true nature of your relationship with them, it's crucial to cut ties as swiftly as possible. Narcissists won't change, because self-reflection and accountability are foreign concepts to them. They shift blame for their failures, frustrations, and unhappiness onto others. They need people they can manipulate, covering up their true nature until keeping up the facade becomes too much to bear. This is exactly what they seek. They want an unpaid assistant, someone who apologizes on their behalf, a constant listener, a driver, a puppet on a string, a caretaker who will cook, clean, cover the bills, fuel the car, keep a roof overhead, finance vacations, pay for education, and be the attractive partner by their side. All the while, they expect tolerance for their mistreatment within the walls of the home you share. Here, you endure doors slamming, objects breaking, things thrown in your direction, silent phone triangulation, being ignored at meals, treated as if you're from another planet, and enduring extended silent treatments that can last days, weeks, or even longer. Meanwhile, strangers might be welcomed into your home with royal treatment, red carpets metaphorically rolled out, while you sit on the sidelines wondering why this person who supposedly cares about you treats everyone else with such open hospitality. The truth is, they're punishing you simply for being yourself, for being there, while the mask they wore to hide their true self is nowhere to be found. Unfortunately, Narcissism 101 was never taught in school, so you had no roadmap. You only noticed the troubling behavior scattered throughout the relationship. It wasn't until it ended, probably with an abrupt crash, that you began to see the truth. This likely marked one of the hardest times of your life. When the relationship broke down, or when you finally identified their narcissistic nature, they simply moved on to a fresh supply, or maybe returned to a previous one. Whatever their next move, they offered no closure. There was no acknowledgement, no apology, no explanation. No moment where they owned up and said, "Yes, I did this intentionally. I took what I wanted from you. Now, I'm leaving you to pick up the pieces." From the start, they wore a mask, hiding their real intentions. They knew that the relationship would be short-lived, and that they would drain whatever they could from you. And they anticipated that one day you would have to be strong, wise, or lucky enough to discover the reality of narcissism on your own. As we wrap up, here's a final reminder to let this sink in. Most people who've crossed paths with a narcissist never realized what they were up against. But here you are, empowering yourself with knowledge, insight, and resilience. You're moving forward with a strength many never tap into. Let yourself absorb that you're out of that toxic loop, healing, and finding freedom in true indifference. Play this video again if you need to. Let these insights take root and recognize how far you've come. You've taken on a battle that was hidden to so many around you, even to yourself at first. But now you see the truth, the patterns, gaslighting, triangulation, projection, all the tactics designed to destabilize. And you've reached a place of understanding where you know the importance of cutting ties and going no contact for good. For those who might wonder about the new supply, don't assume their life with a narcissist is bliss. Behind the scenes, the cycle continues. The toxicity is still there, no matter how it may appear from the outside. You've seen the cracks in the mask yourself, and you know how it deteriorates over time. The narcissist's act doesn't last. It's a cycle of control, manipulation, and superficial charm that fades with every relationship. So, if you found value in this video, let's keep building each other up. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to stay connected, and share this video with someone who might need these insights. Your support helps us grow a community rooted in awareness, strength, and resilience. Thank you for being here. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. Take care, and I'll be here with you tomorrow. God bless, and let's keep moving forward together.